Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 358. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today we're going to be talking about the easiest business model you can start with little money, no product, and minimal skill. The easiest business model you can start with little money, no product, and minimal skill. So if you've ever been in a situation where you don't know what type of business to start or you don't have a lot of money, make sure you tune into today's episode because we're just going to take away all of the excuses that you have. This is a business model that's been around for years. A lot of people use it, but a lot of prospective entrepreneurs and current entrepreneurs don't really think about using this business model. So we're going to jump into that. But before we get into today's broadcast, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful e-commerce Businesses. Also, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. And also my new rebranded, rebooted Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy, BEBacademy.com, where the majority of my courses and online trainings and workshops are. And you can go into the academy 5 days free and have access to all the content, BEBacademy.com. Also, I want to give an update on my people that ordered my book, Message to the Black Entrepreneur. I apologize for it being so late. Last time, I think I mentioned that I tried to get the book printed over in China to save some money. That's the last time I ever do that. The first order that they sent back had 8 pages missing. The second order that they sent had about 3 or 4 pages missing. And now it's actually in a final print at the company I used to use in the States. And so you guys will have that soon. But I apologize for that. And I'll reach out to you via email also because I have a special gift for you for being so patient. Now, let's get ready for today's show. Today, we're going to talk about the easiest business model you can start with little money, no product, and minimal skill. So I hear a ton of prospective entrepreneurs discuss the risk starting a business all the time. And I think one of the things that stops people from actually making that transition is they're trying to manage risk. They don't want to invest a lot of money if they're not certain that the business is going to make money. And I get that. And so you may be in a position where you might be an employee right now looking to transition to become an entrepreneur. And this business model is a great model to start on a part-time basis, giving you the opportunity to build up some cash flow and some clientele. So today, guys, what we're talking about is becoming a project manager / middleman. Now, I've done an episode about cutting out the middleman, and you always want to cut out the middleman unless you're the middleman, okay? If you're providing quality value to a prospective customer, then it's okay for you to be the middleman. And so what we're basically talking about is selling services and marking up the prices. So this is one of the oldest business models around. And I'll use the example of a general contractor. So if you're getting a house built, so say you're getting a new house built from a builder, it could be any one of the major builders or whoever. that builder doesn't actually have all of those people on staff to build that house. They may have to hire the drywall contractors. They may have to hire the roofers. They may have to hire different teams to put that full house together. But what the general contractor is doing is managing all of those activities, being the buffer between the home buyer and the house getting built. And what that general contractor does is he manages everything. So the only person you talk to is the general contractor. And what we're going to talk about today, guys, is being able to create this type of business model in the services area. So first, let me give you a few benefits. Then I'm going to answer some questions that people are probably going to ask, because I was telling my wife about this show and she was like, well, why would somebody do that? So I'm going to answer probably some frequently asked questions. And then I'm going to give you the steps to set up this type of business. Also, guys, this show is probably going to be a little bit shorter than normal. But it's straight to the point. And I think it's a real nugget here for people that want to start businesses. So let me just tell you about the project manager / middleman business model. Some of the benefits are, number one, it's a low startup cost. So in order to start this up, all you have to do pretty much is create a landing page or a website and market your product or service, or actually your service. We're not going to be dealing with products. So low startup cost. Number two, low overhead. So you can run this business with a simple one-page website and some paid advertising, okay? Another benefit is you can easily scale this business by hiring more independent contractors. And I'm going to get into exactly what the whole model is in a second. Next, you don't need a lot of experience in your specific industry, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to act as the project manager and you're going to hire out the people to do the work. All right. Another benefit is you're not doing the work. You're acting as a middleman / project manager. So that means it's going to definitely allow you to scale. Another benefit is you can work in multiple industries, or you can specialize. And I'm going to give you guys some real life examples. And also, you can get lower contract pricing based on the number of jobs you give your contractors, increasing your profits. So let me give you, for example, a website design company, right? So say you don't know diddly about building a website, but you know the components that a real good website needs. So what you would do is this. You would find people on hireblackfreelancers.com, Fiverr.com, or Upwork.com, sites like that, to actually contract out to build the website, right? So now what you're doing is you're selling a package price. So just imagine that you're charging $1,500 for a basic 5 to 7 page website. And what you do then is you contract out with people on, once again, hireblackfreelancers.com, Fiverr, or Upwork, and their fee may be $500 to build that website. So basically, you're upselling that, and not upselling, but you're actually adding on another $1,000, and you're charging $1,500, and it's only costing you $500, thereby allowing you to make $1,000 in profit. Now, you're not doing any work, but remember, you have to manage the actual project worker, the person that's doing the website. And you have to coordinate between your end customer who bought the website service from you and the actual contractor. So you're going to need to be able to vet the contractors to make sure that you have good contractors. So I just had a conversation the other day with a buddy of mine, and he was talking about logos. And so because people may not know a good logo designer, he has somebody that he's contracted out to do logos. And what he does is he marks up the price. But once again, he's the liaison between the customer and the actual contract worker. So when I talk about the business model, I'm really talking about a project manager / middleman. And so we went through some of the benefits. Here's a couple of questions that my wife asked me. She said, why wouldn't a person just hire someone on Fiverr or hire Black freelancers or Upwork for themselves? And so the answer is They may not know what they need. So somebody may want a website, but do they know the components needed to have an effective website? They may not have anybody that they can go to as a referral. So when you market your services, and in this case, website design, you're answering all the questions with your landing page or your website. These are the certain components that you need. And obviously you're hyping up your skills and your services. And so this is a common business model, guys, that even large companies use. So when I used to work years ago in the newspaper industry, magazine, or digital marketing, a lot of the work, and I'm talking about for large companies like Gannett that owns USA Today. So what would happen would be if, in our industry, we wouldn't actually have a graphics division. We did at first, but we outsourced it because it made more sense. So if an advertiser wanted to have some type of graphics, digital media, or digital advertising, we had a company in India that we would outsource it to. And the reason being, it's an arbitrage, because what they charge in India and other countries isn't what most people charge here in the States. So it's just like you see all the manufacturing has left the United States and it's gone overseas. It's gone to Asia, it's gone to India, and companies that don't pay their people, or cities or countries that don't pay their people as much as they pay them here in the States. So it's really an arbitrage. Okay, so the first question she asked, why wouldn't they just hire someone on Fiverr or hire black freelancers themselves? They may not know what they need, especially for website design, on all types of stuff. But I'll give you some more examples towards the end of today's episode. Second question she asked, she was like, why would they pay you? And the answer was, because I'm the face of the service provider. They don't know that I'm using subcontractors. And in today's gig economy, a lot of people are working from home with the coronavirus. A lot of people don't even have employees now. They subcontract. One of the biggest industries that does this is the IT industry. And so I have a couple of buddies that work in the DMV, the DC metro area, that work for the government, but they're not employees of the company. So there's a company that goes out and gets a contract, and I'm just using these numbers as an example. And so that government contract may pay their IT professionals $200 an hour to the company. Then the company goes out and hires the IT people at maybe $75 an hour, and they're keeping the spread. So out of that $200, and they're paying out $75, they're keeping $125, obviously minus the overhead costs, because they have additional costs. But this business model has been there for years. And so if you have little money or want to take very little risk and don't need to have that specific skill, this is a tremendous way to create income. And it's very scalable too. Now, we're getting ready to get into the steps that you need to take to create this type of business model. So step number one is identify the service you would like to sell. And once again, I'm pretty much sticking to service type businesses. So it could be website design, landing pages, sales funnel creation, editing, legal services, social media account management, graphic design, logo creation, even credit repair, etc. So I do recommend that you kind of stay in an area that you have a little bit or some experience in and that you understand. You don't want to go in an area that you don't have a lot of experience in, because remember, you need to be able to vet the subcontractors that you're going to work with. So if you don't know what good work is, then that's not going to be possible for you to vet the subcontractors. So kind of stick into an area that you have some interest in and you have some skill in or knowledge of. You don't have to know how to build websites per se in the example I gave you, but what you do need to know is the type of components needed in a website for it to be effective for whatever the objective is of your prospective customer. So number one, identify the service you'd like to sell. Okay, so once again, we're going to be focusing on services. And the business model is being a project manager. You sell the service package, and then you get subcontractors to fulfill that, and you make the money on the markup. This is the easiest business model out there, guys. Trust me. Number 2, build your team by identifying and vetting contract workers to do the work for your clients. So make sure if you're doing something like website design, logos, or whatever, make sure you get examples of their work prior to hiring them. So you can go to, once again, hireblackfreelancers.com, Fiverr, Upwork, and sites like that. But you need to be able to find and vet these contractors, so when you bring the work back to your end customer, it's quality work. So build your team by identifying and vetting contract workers. Step number 3, create a landing page or mini website offering your services. So once again, you're going to need to be able to have some type of presence online. So I'll stick to the example of being a website builder, website designer. You're going to need some type of presence. And if you're doing websites, make sure your website looks good. So one of the first projects may be, if you're selling websites, is getting that first contract worker to build your website. So that way you can vet them. You want to vet them prior to that, but then you can see what type of work they do. But you need to create a landing page or mini website offering your services. That's step number 3. And I'll break this down a little more at the end and give you some other real life examples. Step number 4, run paid ads or social media posts to attract prospective customers. So the only real cost you're going to have in this business, guys, or in this business model, is creating your website presence and driving traffic to that website or landing page. Those are really the only 2 costs that you're going to have to come out of pocket with. Now, what you pay your contractors, that actually comes from your customers. So when your customers sign up for your service, you send them out an invoice, or they're able to pay on your website. Then what you do is you go and you talk to your subcontractor, and bam, you pay them what they normally charge. And obviously you make the difference. So number 4, run paid ads or social media posts to attract prospective customers. Number 5, and this is real important, guys, you need to create a simple prospect for your prospective customers to follow. What is your standard intake? So for example, if you're doing web design, you probably want to have some type of questionnaire. What's the purpose of your website? Is it to make sales? Is it to build your database? Is it just informative? So you're going to need to be able to do an intake call and be able to find out exactly what that customer wants, so you can convey that information to your contract workers. All right. So once again, you're going to probably need to have an intake or a questionnaire to start off on your website, but something that allows you to understand exactly what their goals and objectives are for whatever products or services that you're selling. So that's step number 5. Step number 6, once you have a new client, you must communicate with them and keep them abreast of your progress on the project. Once again, it's all about your process, and you have to lay down those expectations up front. One of the biggest or best pieces of advice I ever got was before I got married, and my wife and I were doing the premarital counseling. And her pastor said expectations will make or break a relationship. And that's true in business, personal relationships, marriage, or whatever. So you need to set the expectation level for your customers. And you do that through your website, through your messaging, and through your intake calls. So when you get on the line with the customer, you're going to run them through, hey, this is how the process works. So you're laying the expectation right up front. Okay. So remember now, you have to keep them abreast. Your job as a project manager / middleman is to keep them abreast of their project. Remember, you're the intermediary. So your job is to make sure that they're abreast of everything that's going on with their project. They don't need to know that you're outsourcing the work. Okay, as long as the work gets done. And it really, guys, the only difference between outsourcing the work and hiring those contractors is just the status of the actual contractor. So now you're using subcontractors or independent contractors as opposed to having people on your payroll. And once again, in today's economy, in the landscape that we're in, there's a lot of independent workers out there. So really, that is the business model. You're going to act as a project manager. Now, let's start to think about some of the different business ideas that you can start. And I mentioned a couple at the beginning, right? So you could talk about website design. People always need that. Landing pages. This is a conversation I had with a brother that's doing my website, my new rebranded BEB website. And when this thing drops, family, it's going to be hot. And I'll tell y'all more about it the closer we get to dropping it. But in terms of landing pages, a lot of the people that I coach don't have the technical aspects or don't want to learn the technical aspects of building landing pages or creating mini sales funnels. So they may have a product or a service, but one of the biggest hurdles they have is actually doing the technical aspects. So landing pages are a great way to actually get into this space. Effective landing pages. You got to know, once again, the components and the layout of what constitutes a successful or a profitable landing page. So if you don't know the components, you don't know where to put them, then once again, your landing page isn't going to work. That's why I always say you need to have some experience in whatever you're doing there or have some knowledge. Sales funnel creation. That's real big. That's a great opportunity. Sales funnels, I know, ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, that's nothing new. Sales funnels have been out over 100 years. All he's done is popularized it and created a program that helps you do it. But there are other programs out there too. I use drop funnels. So I actually left ClickFunnels, and that'll actually probably be another episode. But that's a great thing too, a great service, creating sales funnels for people. Another opportunity is editing. So if people are writing a book or they're doing something, editing. All right. Also, if you want to look at article writing, so you can create a project management company that writes articles for people. Are you going to write the article? No. You're going to go and subcontract that. So people always talk about content, right? They need content for their blog posts. So guess what? You can create a service that provides that content. So you can go find writers, find out what they charge, make sure you vet them and make sure that the content that they write is good. And now you can charge your fee minus whatever you pay that writer. Tons of opportunities out here, guys. Let's look at what else do we have? Legal services, right? Now, let me just give y'all, hip y'all to something right here. A lot of the times when you see the legal services companies being advertised, these lawyers, a lot of times the lawyers aren't the people that are advertising. It's actually marketing companies. And I'm going to give you an example of a company that does something very similar. So they're marketing companies. And so what they're doing, guys, is they're selling leads. But what they're doing is they're the middleman and they patch you in. They do the outreach. They do the advertising and marketing. Lead comes in. They sell that lead to law firms. So these are all types of different businesses that you can start with this business model. Social media account management. Who doesn't need that if you're in business? A lot of people don't know how to do it, aren't even trying to figure out how to do it, but they know they need a social media presence. So you may not be great in social media and you don't necessarily want to do the work. Guys, there's a whole cottage industry that does back office work or back office services. Okay, so you can actually find companies if you're an agency. So say you're an advertising or marketing agency and you don't want to do the work. Trust me, guys, you can find the back office to do it. So you can sell SEO, pay-per-click, all types of different things. So if you're interested in creating a marketing agency and you don't want to do any of the work, just Google back office, social media back office companies. Matter of fact, I used to deal with one years ago, and in the newspaper, in the media, they deal with that. So a lot of services. So when I was working at AAA years ago, working in the hotel, selling the hotels and tourist places, We used to have an outsourced company that did our SEO. They did all of the graphics. They did everything. All we were the front-facing organization to the customer. And anytime we got an order, we would send it to the back office, and they would do the work. So if you ever wanted to be in create a marketing agency or an ad type agency, there's tons of individual back offices. So for example, if you wanted to start a digital marketing agency and sell to clients, there's a company that I used to use in my previous life called Guarantee Digital, guaranteedigital.com. Now, what they were actually a white label agency. So all of the stuff that you wanted to do, they would actually do it. So if you want to launch and scale a digital agency, these are the type people that you need to talk to. So for example, some of their digital solutions, they do SEO, design, content services, all types of different things. And all you do is you send the orders into them and they fulfill the order. They'll give you a price list. This is a price to do this. This is a price to do that. And all you do is mark that up. So if you ever thought about starting a digital not ad agency, but a digital agency where you're helping businesses create digital content and all that good stuff, SEO, design, whatever, guaranteedigital.com. Great company to work with. And once again, they're going to give you their price list of everything, and all you do is mark that up. So that's the whole concept, family. So when you're working with a lot of these companies, they're doing the exact same thing that I'm telling you right now. So you may think they have this big organization, but literally they're marking up whatever their back office charges them. All right. So let me give you some other real life examples too. Years ago, I actually got my carpets cleaned by this company. I forgot the name of the company. They were advertising a lot on the radio, and also they were sending out direct mailers and stuff like with Money Mailer and all of that. So I'm like, all right, these cats seem to have a good price. You get one room and the other one is free or something like that. So I called them up. They came to the crib, did a good job. But what happened was the guy was doing something and he needed water, and he went into one of my upstairs bathrooms, and he hung the water bucket on the faucet. And as the bucket filled up and it got heavier, the faucet ended up breaking. So I'm like, yo, man, come on now, you got to fix this. So I called the company, and to my surprise, they were a marketing company. All they were doing were marketing for carpet cleaning services and then sending out independent carpet cleaners to actually do the jobs. So when I called, they were like, that's such and such company. I'm like, hold up, time out. I thought I'm calling this company and you guys are out here cleaning. And they explained to me, no, he said, we're a marketing company for carpet cleaners. And what we do is we're the front facing portion of the business, and we do all the advertising and we do the marketing. We get the jobs in, and then we subcontract out those jobs with a markup. Okay? So the only cost they have pretty much is the advertising and marketing cost. And obviously you got to have some employees or stuff like that. Or you can do it individually, but these guys were doing crazy business, not doing any of the work, but doing the marketing for it. So that was something that was a personal thing to me. I mentioned home builders before, website design, social media graphics. So if you want to create a digital marketing agency, guaranteedigital.com is a back office. Now, I hadn't used them in probably 10 years or whatever, but when we did use those guys, they were excellent. But that's something that, once again, that is the same concept. You have very low start off costs. You have no product because somebody else is fulfilling that, and you don't even have to have the skill. All you need to learn how to do is market. Okay. And once again, though, you have to be the intermediary. You just can't market and say, all right, that's it. Because remember, Your customer doesn't know that you're using subcontractors. So you are the intermediary. Now, in certain industries, they call it white label, like credit repair. That's another one I forgot to tell you guys about. So there are agencies out there, the back office, that actually does credit repair. So if you don't want to start your own credit repair agency, they have credit repair back offices that will actually do the work. So once again, you're front facing, you're marketing the credit repair services. When you get a customer, you send that information directly to the back office. Now, the back office will communicate with them in your company name. So it's called white label or private label. So companies don't, or customers don't know that basically this is just a service business that's handling all of your back office. And the way that they charge a lot of times can be by the number of disputes or a monthly fee. So, for example, if you're looking at a credit repair customer and they have, say, 5 things that are negative on their credit report, the back office may charge you $25 per item, right? Where then to get removed, where you can then go and charge $50 per item. I'm just using these arbitrary numbers, okay? So once again, you're not doing the work. All you're doing is marketing, and you're the front-facing portion of the process. You're the one getting the customers, okay? So in credit repair, I know if a lot of people are in that space, it's a great space to be in. But if you don't want to actually do all the work, then they're credit repair back offices. Just Google credit repair back offices, and now all you're doing is marketing, shooting the stuff over to the actual back office who does the work, and you're making the profit. Now, in credit repair, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I used to have a credit repair company when I had my mortgage business. The beauty about that is if you get the right software and you get the right front-facing web design, then you don't have to communicate as much, because your customers can go into their portal and see the updates on their accounts. So you don't have to say, hey, Jay, yeah, we removed 3 things from your credit report. They'll be able to go into their customer portal and see the progress and the updates. So before we do a rehash, and I want to give you guys one more example, let me just share all my social media contact information and my resource links. As I mentioned at the top of the show, guys, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for the print version, $9.95 for the digital version. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, my new flagship program is out, Brand Builder Academy Elite. You can go to bbaelite.com, use the coupon code BBAELITE100 and save $100 off the program. It's a 14-week implementation program taking you from ideation all the way to selling your physical product or digital product brand on all of your major platforms and your own platform, bbaelite.com. Now, I also mentioned at the top of the show, my 2 platforms to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy. So if you are a black product producer and you want to sell your products to black consumers worldwide, upload your information to besmartbyblack.com. It is free. Free for you to upload your information. There's no reason you shouldn't be on the site right now. besmartbyblack.com. Now, if you're a freelancer, if you do anything on Fiverr.com, freelancer.com, Upwork, anything like that, I've created the similar platform for you titled HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, blackfreelancers.com. So if you want to get business from black consumers and black businesses that are looking to hire black freelancers, then upload your information. Once again, it is free. So when we talk about today's concept, if you're looking for freelancers, guys, make sure you go to HireBlackFreelancers.com. Now, also, I mentioned at the top of the show, guys, my new rebranded, rebooted Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy. You can go to bebacademy.com and you can get access to most of my online course. The only thing you don't have access to, guys, is Brand Builder Academy Elite. That's a flagship program. But all of my other online courses and trainings and workshops are in the Academy. And you have 5 days free to access anything in the Academy and use it. So go to bebacademy.com, get your 5-day free access. Take advantage of the content, the courses, the workshops, and trainings there. And we have stuff from beginner entrepreneurs, people that are just starting, all the way up to advanced entrepreneurs in finance, marketing, e-commerce. Go and check it out, bebacademy.com. Now, that was a whole mouthful, but all you need to go to BEB Connect. Go to bebconnect.com, and all of those links will be on that page, which is a page on my website. Now, in terms of connecting with me, anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, just go to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jjones001. That's JAYJONES001. Instagram, I have 2 accounts. J Jones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL, J Jones for real, and also Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Those are my 2 IG accounts. Now, YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, family. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the show. And yes, the show does come out on YouTube every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube and all the other platforms. So go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit that subscribe button. LinkedIn, connect with me via LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. And if you're on Clubhouse, connect with me on Clubhouse at I am J Jones, at I am J Jones. And every time I say J Jones, it's always spelled out JAYJONES. Once again, guys, in the coming weeks, all you're going to have to do is go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. When I get this new site up, it's going to be dope, I'm telling you. Or bebconnect.com, because it's going to lead you to the same place. And you're going to have all the resources, and it's going to take you through an individualized tour and connect you with the resources that you need. Free resources, paid resources, whatever. But BEB Connect, you can get all of this. All right, now, so let's do a quick recap. So today, guys, we're taking away all the excuses, right? So if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of skill, and you don't have a product, then you can become a project manager based on something that you have some knowledge of. You know, don't become a project manager for stuff you have no knowledge of. Yes, you can hire the right contractors, but I believe just personally that you do have to have some type of know-how or knowledge about what you're doing, because you're going to be the front-facing person. You're going to be doing the communication with your customer, not your contractors. So once again, real quick benefits: low startup costs, low overhead. You can easily scale your business by hiring more independent contractors. You don't need a lot of experience in your specific industry. You're not doing the work, which is great. You're acting as the middleman / project manager. You can work in multiple industries, or you can specialize. So if you get one industry down, then you can move to something else. You may do website design, and then you may want to go and do something else. Next, you can get lower contract pricing based on the number of jobs you give your contractors. So, for example, if you're getting a lot of customers, and we'll just stick with web design, and you have a contractor that you're giving 10 jobs a month to, then that's probably a lot of jobs for that contractor. So what you can do is, hey, I'm giving you 10 jobs a month on average. I need you to knock down the price. And what you'll find is, if you get a solid flow of customers, then these contractors are going to be knocking your door down to work with you. Oh, yeah, I'll do it for this price. I'll do it for that price. And so you'll be able to negotiate the pricing, lower what that contractor is charging you, which in turn will increase your profitability. Okay. So those are some of the benefits and the steps to get this done. And I'm just breezing over these. I don't have time to go in depth. Identify the services you like to sell. Okay. Number 2, Build your team by identifying and vetting contract workers to do the work for your clients. So make sure you get examples from these subcontractors, okay? So you want to make sure you vet them. Number 3, create a landing page or mini website offering your services, because you're the business and you're the front-facing business to the customer. Number 4, run paid ads or use social media posts to attract prospective customers. Number 5, create a simple process for your prospective customers to follow. Hey, this is the way I do business. This is what's going to happen next. First, we do this, then this happens, then that happens, then the next thing happens. So create the process. So once again, your customer will know how this process works and how you work. And number 6, once you have a new client, make sure that you communicate that with them and keep them abreast of all the progress on their project. Remember, you're the intermediary, you are the project manager, and what you're doing is you're really getting paid for project management, keeping all of this stuff together and providing them with the outcome that they're looking for. And once again, guys, so you're getting paid to keep this a seamless process. It should be seamless to the customer. They don't know that you're subcontracting out there. And just to give you one more example of this business model, when I wrote my first book, not A New Black Wall Street, but I had a book out prior to that, I used this editing company. And at the time, I didn't realize this is what they were doing. So I used this editing company to edit my first book. And I got friendly with the guy that owned the business. And eventually, during a conversation, he was telling me that he doesn't do the editing. And he outsources all the editing work to people in other countries. And that are proficient in English and in writing English too. And so I'm like, damn. So I'm spending all of this money to get the book edited, and he's probably paying these guys peanuts. And so that's another example. But what he did was he presented as the front-facing portion of the business. And once again, it's the oldest business model out there. Years ago, people would have employees doing that. But now, based on today's economy, all they're doing is subcontracting out the work. So you need to have a good marketing plan. You need to hone in on a specific area and either specialize to make sure you understand that. But the scalability factor for this type of business is off the charts. And so if you find subcontractors that are quality, that you vet, that do great work, they respond to you in a timely fashion, the sky's the limit. And the greatest thing is, if you want to scale the business, it's just a matter of finding more of those contractors or subcontractors. And so you're going to have the infrastructure. If you're doing intake calls or things of that nature, you're going to have to make sure you have the infrastructure to handle that. But really, it's an arbitrage. You're providing a service at one price and you're completing the service at another price, and you keep what's in the middle. So once again, guys, no excuses. No excuses. And today's show topic was the easiest business model you can start with little money, no product, and minimal skills. You literally can have no skills, but as long as you know what you're trying to accomplish and you can convey that to your subcontractors, and you can obviously convey that your subcontractors will get the job done for the end user, then you're in good shape. No excuses, family. Very simple concept. Probably the easiest concept to make money out there, except for going through your home and doing retail arbitrage on Amazon. So reselling your stuff on Amazon or eBay, that's pretty simple. Doesn't take a lot of skill to do that. But in terms of a quote unquote business, a front facing business where you have customers, probably the easiest business model to create. Before we close on out, guys, I just want to say, as I do each and every week, we've been getting more and more downloads, and that's because of you, the BEB family. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, and the movement. Once again, guys, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide black economy. There's no revolution without economics. Economics impacts and can change our education. It can change politics. It can change the media narrative of how we're positioned. So everything starts with economics. And the best way to create economic independence is by building and supporting black-owned businesses. Now, I've said this on many of the episodes. Studies have shown that only 2 cents of every dollar that we have, that's us black folk, goes to black-owned businesses. Only 2 cents. That's ridiculous because we're not intentional with our money and we're unconscious where we spend. So we need to be intentional. So just imagine if we change that 2 cents to 20 cents. How much impact would that have in our community? How much would it help our brothers and sisters who are business owners who, as their businesses grow, are probably going to need to expand and scale and hire other people? And statistics show, family, that people who are building a business usually hire people that they're comfortable with that look like them. So that's why when you go to the store on the corner, Korean store on the corner, who do you see working in there? Other Koreans. So we need to do the same thing. We need to understand that the only way out of this thing is by sticking together. And we have all the tools and everything we need to do this. But the mindset, the mentality, the intentionality of doing everything that we need to do has to be a precedent so we can get out of where we are. Government isn't going to help us. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door talking about, yo, I got this paper for you. Yeah, those stimmies are, whatever. If you're getting the stimmy, that's all right. But in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. We're talking about building an economic power base. We're talking about setting your children up way better than we got set up. We're talking about building generational wealth. And it all starts from having ownership, not having somebody pay you every week or every 2 weeks. And if you're not an entrepreneur, I get it. Not everybody is built this way. But if you're listening to this, you're probably either an entrepreneur or you're considering entrepreneurship. Don't let anybody else define you. And I don't care if you never leave your job, always make sure you have another source of income. Be it real estate, be it e-commerce, be it, retail arbitrage, buying stuff at Walmart, flipping it on Amazon or eBay, whatever. Always have a second source of income. If you didn't learn anything from the coronavirus, I hope you learned that. People are losing everything they have. Can't pay their electric bill, losing their homes, cars getting repossessed. At first, they was like, oh man, we're going to give y'all a break or whatever because this is a pandemic. Now everything is trying to get back to normal. And these companies are like, nah, you had that break. Yo, I need to get paid. So make sure that if you're jammed up, make sure that you never will sit in this position again. What you want to do, guys, is be owners. You want to be producers, not consumers. We're always going to be consumers because we need to live. But make sure that you balance that out by being a producer. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.